السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I see here 14, okay. Hello everybody. My name is Salwa Mansouri. I will introduce myself. I'm Salwa Mansouri. I'm a simulation specialist. Wait, please. Yeah, okay. I'm a simulation specialist and former simulation operation manager in King Abdulaziz University Hospital Clinical Skills and Simulation Center. Today is our learning objectives in this 1-hour presentation is how to identify who is really the simulation operation team members and how to let them balance between the art with the science for the simulation technician exactly, and how they apply what they really learn as a skills in your work environment. So let's see, can everyone introduce himself or his related to the simulation in chat, please? So I will know whom I talk to. Okay, please. Everybody can hear me? Hello? Okay.
Yes, hi, Ms. Salwa.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's start. Let's start with what is exactly the simulation operation, the healthcare simulation operation. From actually, the simulation operation have 5 domains. These 5 foundational fields is related to any healthcare simulation centers. The simulation operation team, he needs to be at least expert, or what we can say it, he have experience in one of this, at least one of this foundational field. One of this, the one you see it here. Most of our technicians or our simulation operation members usually came from healthcare field or backgrounds, and some of IT technicians. Actually, it's not necessary to be achieving the mastery of all these fields during your work in your center, but you need to know a little bit about each of this domain. So let's start with who is really the simulation operation team member. We are talking about simulation operation. Simulation operation is a small organization in a one big organization that we talk about, the simulation center. It's the dynamic of the any simulation center. I choose 3 of the most members who's really doing the most work in the simulation operation workflow. Okay, let's start with the manager. Manager, he's the one who administers and coordinates from far all the activities. He's the eye of the operational of the simulation operation. The operator is the specialist one who have a broad understanding of the educational goals and the technical part of the organizational conditions. Technician is an individual who has mastered the basic skills and techniques to support the simulation-based educations. Each of them are completed. Each of all these 3, they are completing each others. Without any of those, the simulation operation will not be really an excellent simulation operation. So I'll talk about mostly today about the technicians, or we can say that now they let the operator and the technician to be a one person as SOS. So technician, as you see here, he's mostly related to the operation, mostly. The operator, he's mostly related also to the operation and technician, technical parts. So they are mostly one person. The manager, he's concentrating on the organization itself, education, operation, and technical. He's the fourth. Let's talk about the simulation. Sorry, let's go back. Let's talk about the simulation technician. The important, now all the simulation centers, I will talk in Saudi Arabia, for example, they have, they develop the educational part of the simulation technician, of the simulation field, but they didn't really have the part of the operation. Most of the centers we have, as I know, they try to develop this part, and they discover that the operation, it's really the most part important of making the simulation based education to be in the right way to reach the goal for each center, that is make the training and education based use simulation to be global. So simulation technician, he will be part of each. If you will say that we will start with the other objective. How to balance this one, it's a simple way to understand how to develop your operational team. So how to balance between the art and science. The science, it's actually talk about how to it's defining the technical operation of a simulation, of the simulator, the equipment, audiovisual system, etc., etc. This is the science. This is the knowledge that the technician he has. But the art is more difficult. From our perspective, it's more difficult than the science. The art is how to transforming this science to make the to make a very what we call it excellent clinical reality in simulation. How we can balancing both to reach the success in both sides, education and operation. We will start to build a plan, okay, to train them. So the first thing that we need to know, or the technician or the team member of the operation need to know, it's very important to know the simulation-based education principles. If one of the staff who come, a new staff, a new simulation technician who came to the center and be one of the employee, but he start for example, to read about the policy and procedures. This is your job descriptions, but he don't know really what is the simulation-based education principles, how they are working. Of course, depend on your mission center. You can build your simulation, your operational team. It depends on your mission. Some of the centers are different in their missions. So, from our perspective, you need to know what is the simulation-based education principles, the needs assessment, the measurable objectives, how they do it. Because sometimes during our plan to build a simulation operation, we are depending also in models. models from the simulation-based education to help us to build our team, because it's all related to each other. Education and operation, it's the same in the same level. If the education is great and the operation is not, so there is no successful here. You will not succeed in your mission regarding the simulation-based education integration. So each of this simulation-based education principle need to be known, at least how it's work. Okay, so the other slide you see here, it's called learning styles. Called learning styles is one of the educational or training styles that used in the simulation-based education itself. So we take this called learning styles, we study it, we discover that it's mostly the successful way to really make the novice technician to be an expert technician during the time. As you see here, it's concrete. I'll explain the style. The first one, it's concrete experience feeling. Concrete experience feeling, you have the staff, you bring them to, for example, one of the simulation, the scenarios that you have. Any scenarios, clinical basics or technical basics. And then you let them run the scenario. You see how they are working. You put them in the place of the learning themselves, so they will feel what they feel if some technical things that happen. Of course, we modifying the scenarios of the clinical scenarios. We modify it to have a problem in a technical way. And then we reflective observation or watching. We are doing reflective observation, sit with each other and see what's going on, what's went well, what's not went well. And then the abstract conceptualization, it's the thinking. From this way, what we can improve, what we can, for example, one of the way to that we found it during this cycle to improve the skills of the technician is making our own troubleshooting forms, our troubleshooting data. Every time he's going to attend to the scenario, any technical problems will happen. Directly, they write the solution, they write the course, they write the solution and what and what even the code, the problem that happened of this cause, what he did as a troubleshoot to solve this problem. This is one of the way that we are doing it in our center. And then the active experimenting the active experimentation is like we are doing the same cycle. We are bringing them again to the same situation with a little bit different of technical problems, and let them see, we can see and let them see to their improvement. Is it any improvement during this cycle or not? And we really discovered that every time we are doing this way, it's there's an increasing of knowledge regarding the technical part of the simulation technician. So it's a very, very useful learning style from the operational side. I put this slide just to let you know that any simulation operation member, he needs to know the standards of the operations. So this slide that you see it here, it's the from INA CSL standards of best practice simulation operation. Read it. It's very good to give you some guides as a simulation technician. Okay, here as you see, there's a two two cycle, we develop a two development cycle. One for the new staff development, and the other one for the current staff development. The new staff development, for example, we have here three levels. Orientation. Orientation is very, very important. First level, first step to develop your or train your own staff. Orientation that he make him more understandable about his work environment, to be familiar with the staff, the other staff, to be familiar with the system itself, like policy procedures, to let him know more about, to be familiar with the equipment, with the technical, and etc., etc. Training here, we actually do some need assessments. The needs assessment is very important in both of those cycles, because needs assessment is it will let you know exactly their I will not say their weakness, but for the new staff we need to know their strength, so we can work in other things that they have it. We can do this needs assessment. You can make a survey, depend on your needs, and start your own needs assessment survey, and take what the criteria that you usually need to focus on. After you do your needs assessment, you are starting to do a training plan. This training plan, it depends on what you have, what you get. You can use the pilot sessions during that. You can use what we call it lunch and learn. We have also, you can make them be, for example, moulage techniques workshops, small workshops, anything that related to the simulation operation domains or principles. It's very important to do your to start with the needs assessment. Competency, the competency, it depends on the checklist that you have to see the improvement of your staff. There's a lot of competencies. As a reference, you can search, or you can do your own competency checklist, depending on your needs, to know from before to now what's the development, the improvement. The other cycle, it's current staff development. Of course, we have a new staff, yes, but we have a current staff that have, for example, you find, when you do the needs assessment, you find some of the gaps in some of the skills that need to be improved more. So here you will focus on the teaching moments, or what we call it, you put your strategic plan and coaching and practicing more. You can do some of what we call it project-based, simulation-based projects, to let them do some projects that starting from needs assessment to finalize the principles, what we talk about, simulation-based education principles, as a model to follow. To let them more confident about that, about themselves, and to let them improve themselves even in the cycles. Yes, and we also repeating the pilot sessions of each in each cycles. Pilot sessions very important to even know each other as a team, to be familiar with each other again, to make a debriefing, to discuss, to see the weakness and the strength, to work on this two fields. Competency, as I said, to fill the found gaps, we are doing the competency. There is here in the screen, there's some of the pictures that, some of the titles that need to sometimes to focus on is leadership. You need to build the leadership skills in your team. So when you give him the chance to be, for example, a manager in one of the courses you have, or a leader, so he can lead a team. How he can lead a team, you need to teach him on that. You need to teach him, for example, he's a healthcare provider, but he don't have any background in AV system operating. But we have another staff, he had the IT and AV system operating, so we can give also lectures, a lot of practical lectures about the AV system. Moulage techniques. Moulage techniques is very important to make the science art, to let them to balance between all both those to make the case is more reality. Pilot stations, as I said, is very important way to grow your simulation team. Lunch and learn. Lunch and learn, it's meaning lunch and learn. It's about it's like a program. You can give a lot of topics related to the management, to the administration, to the technical, to the simulation field, and make a program, full program of small lectures that give them more improvement in their knowledge. Okay. Also, I'll talk about how to help the staff to put their skills in the work environment. Actually, one of the very good for any simulation technician to start with, when you are learn whatever you learn from the development program that the management of the center do for you, you need to build your own. For example, you need to build your own checklist about what you really achieve and understanding and what you need. You need to understand more about, for example, I'll tell you about some of the pharmacies, what we say it, pharmacy equipments. There's a simple way to, for example, to do for you a mnemonic. It's actually one of the ways to make you more concentrate of some of it's teach you in a short time to understand more about the terminologies of the simulation operation or simulation in general, operation and education. You can also do some of I'm sorry. As I told you, yes. Sorry. Self-evaluation. It's very important for the simulation technician to not depend only on their management or their manager to do things to improve himself. He needs to improve himself by himself. He needs to do a self-evaluation for himself. He needs to be curious about a lot of technical problems. If you didn't fit yourself in each part of the simulation operation, you will not learn. To reach the excellency of the operation, you need to have a lot of skill, a lot of um, a lot of skills. As a manager, you are a manager who's teaching the simulation technician, and you want to reach the operational excellence. And this is what you see here: the simulation, the operational excellence cycle. You need to involve more. You need to think outside the box. To let them be involved more about in any faculty development courses. You need them to go to engage more in simulation, in moulage techniques courses, to let them feel that they can, even the scenarios, they can write it, the technical scenarios, for example. They can write from the clinical scenarios how to do a technical scenarios. Uh, you need to have what we call it a cycle of innovative area. When the team is together and they are mostly have these skills of problem solving, of quick thinker, that make them more confident to reach the operational excellence in the center. I'll tell you, I'll explain to you here, process excellence. Process excellence, it's about how to make the process it's more understandable and easier for the simulation technicians. This one can be done by doing, for example, a flow chart works or a workflow for each department or each part of the simulation operation to be more understandable and to make it reference for them. So not every time they will come and search here and ask here and here. They have a clear process of how to do their work. Exceed customer expectations. The simulation technicians need to know that what we are doing here in simulation center is to make the simulation-based education more involved and more engaged in health education. To make our customer more satisfied about that, without doing the actual clear process, there will not be exceed customer expectation to be high. We need to put our goal as a 5 or 7 stars of expectation to do an excellent operation. So it will, and that will affect with big effect of the education of the training in the center. Strategic direction and focus. Of course, if you don't have any strategic plan, you will not have the guide to reach what you want as a mission of the center. Employee involvement, this one is very important. Each of simulation technician, each of them, some of them have weakness of some of the skills and strength of some of the skills. So as a simulation operation manager, you need to focus on the strength of on the weakness of this simulation technician, how to improve it more, and to see the bright side of each person, to make them more involved in each part of the simulation operation, even during the meetings, during the courses, to just be observing what's going on, to feel that they are part of the simulation operation family. Leadership engagement, as I told you before, it's very important to make them feel that they can lead, to give them projects, any project, a small project, For example, your project today is how to create a competency checklist for the staff. This is a project. He will start to search to understand how we can do the competency tests, competency checklist as a simulation technician, what their needs, what the skills they need to be great on it, or to be excellent on it, so they can reach the excellency as a simulation expert. Superior safety, of course, superior safety. Any simulation technician need to be, or any simulation operation members, they need to be they need to be feel safe in any environment. So this is a very important part of the to reach your operational excellence. Commitment to quality, of course. If we train our staff in a very high quality, we will have a very quality improvement, or also services that we can give the customers. Innovative products. Each of us have, or each of the simulation technicians have in part of their mind, they are innovators, but they need a guide to let them more confident about this part, to let what they are inside to make it outside, and be confident about that. We have a lot of operational innovation parts. We can, for example, in Molage you can create a lot of things, and we have an excellent simulation. I'm sure in each simulation centers they can make a lot of things. It's just only need a guideline to do it. Okay, this slide is it's one of our staff operational team contributions during the last couple of years the Saudi simulation conferences. It's about some of the posters and research, and this is one of the also important things that the simulation operation manager can focus also during their training plan. Actually, any member of the simulation operation team, they need to know the simulation-based research principles, because any investigator will come to the center and say that I need to do some research. Okay, how can I, Anna, as a simulation member, operation member, how can I know? How can I be can help him? So if I didn't know what is the simulation-based research principles, I will not know how to help him regarding the equipments, regarding the areas of simulation. We need to know what is the simulation-based research principles. You see here this slide is calling mind map. It will help you to understand, to be more understandable about what you are searching about your simulation operation team, about the skills that you need. For example, here they're talking about the operations. The operations, for example, understandable about how to schedule of educational programs and rooms, program flow, recruitment. For example, the technology. What I need from the IT technician to be know about the technology that relates to the simulation. The attributes, of course, the communication skills is very important. educational background is also important. And the backgrounds, of course, as we talked about it before, that most of us is healthcare, but also the IT and AV system. We can recruit some of the IT technicians and teach them more about the healthcare simulation. But last and not least, as if you really not curious about the field that you are work on, you need to search and search and search. Not everything come like in a golden plate. We need to be more curious about anything. You need to in any activities in the center, for example, you need to be to go inside, to do the mistakes and learn from the mistakes, to write checklists, to write notes, to develop yourself by yourself. I hope I can, as here, say that better prepared students is better simulation experiences. If the students are exciting about the simulation, it's meaning the simulation operation, it was a very great. Always, I like this Chinese proverb. They say, tell me I forgot, show me I remember, involve me, I will understand. Involve yourself more and more and more to understand more and more about the simulation operation. Thank you so much. If you have any question. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. There's a technical problem happening. Um, okay. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Let's see. Thank you so much for your attendance. Any questions? I can answer it. By anyhow, if you have any questionnaire, any questions about the simulation operation, please I'll let them send you my email so you can contact me directly, and I can answer anything that you want. Okay. I'm sorry, the time is okay. I'll answer your question. Okay, suggestion, any article or box that can be a good reference. Yes, sure. Some of the articles, as I told you, see here is, I'm sorry, what is it? The yes. As I told you before, the INACSL standard of best practice is one of the articles, is a good article to start with. You have also some of the sources like the ASPE also. You can go to the website and search about some of the lot of the references you found. Of course, and it's very important to know about the SSH dictionary. It's very important to know as a beginner in simulation operation, to know the dictionary of the simulation based education. I'll let you. Okay. Can you write my? I'll type here. I'll type here my email. So please, I think it will cut down. So that's. I'm sorry. I write my email, and I'll let them also send my email to your emails. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it in private. And please, can I ask you something? You can also send me what you really can see yourself after, for example, 3 months in simulation operation field. So we will know, or we can help each other how to reach your dreams about that after, for example, 3 months or 6 months. Thank you so much for your patience and for your presenting in our lecture. Thank you so much.